There are 5 hidden signs that show he wants you badly, but he is trying hard to control his feelings. And I'm going to tell you something that may sound completely opposite of what you expect. The man showing you these signs is probably acting colder toward you than almost anyone you have ever met. The person who seems the most distant may actually be the one who wants you the most. The one who is stepping back, acting like he does not care, and making you feel confused with his mixed signals could actually be the person who is developing strong feelings and feeling overwhelmed by them. I know that sounds strange because you may think, if he really wants me, why wouldn't he just show it? Why would he create distance? Why would he make everything so confusing? Here is the truth. Sometimes the stronger his feelings become, the stranger his actions can look. Many women see this behavior and immediately assume he is not interested. They walk away from someone who may actually care deeply about them. They miss the real reason behind his actions. Stay with me because what I'm about to explain can completely change the way you understand men. I'm going to show you the 5 specific signs that reveal when he is fighting his feelings for you. These are the small things he does that expose what he is trying to hide. And there is one thing he does that appears like rejection, but it can actually be one of the biggest signs that he is attracted to you. Once you understand this, you stop overthinking every little action. You stop feeling lost and confused. You begin to see what is really happening behind those mixed signals. This is not about playing mind games. It is about understanding how some men behave when they develop real emotions, especially feelings that make them uncomfortable or afraid. By the end, you will understand what to do when a man is trying to fight what he feels for you. You will know the one action that can make him stop running away and finally accept what has been there all along. But first, we need to understand why these feelings can feel so scary to him. And the real reason may surprise you because it has nothing to do with you. So why do some men fight their feelings this way? Why does liking someone turn into a confusing push and pull situation? Here is what may be happening. When a man starts developing strong emotions quickly, something changes inside his mind. He may begin to see those feelings as an emotional risk. Deep down, he knows that if he allows himself to fully want you, you may have the ability to hurt him deeply. Think about it this way. Have you ever wanted something so much that you were almost scared to get it? Because if you finally had it and then lost it, the pain would feel unbearable. That is exactly what may be happening in his mind. The more he likes you, the more his fear can increase. His mind starts creating a protective reaction. It says, if I do not let myself get too attached, I cannot get hurt. If I keep some distance, I will stay safe. If I act like I do not care, maybe these feelings will disappear. But feelings do not disappear just because someone tries to ignore them. They often become stronger. They build up until they start showing through actions he cannot fully control. That is when the signs appear, those small moments when his guard drops and you see what he is really feeling. But the interesting part is that many women misunderstand these signs and think they mean the opposite. So let's look at the hidden signs that reveal what is really happening. And the third sign is something that may surprise you because many people mistake it for rejection. The first sign is that he becomes very inconsistent with his attention, but there is usually a pattern behind it. One day he is messaging you all the time, sending funny things, asking about your day, and showing genuine interest. Then suddenly, the next day, he becomes quiet. His replies become short. He seems too busy to talk. He acts like you are not even there. This may not always mean he is playing games or that he does not care. Sometimes it can mean he is struggling with his own emotions. Every time he gets closer to you, fear can appear and make him step back. Pay attention to when this happens. Does he create distance after a really good conversation? Does he pull away after a moment where things feel more serious? Does it happen after you both connect on a deeper level? If it happens repeatedly, it may not be random. It may be his way of dealing with feelings that feel too intense. Here is the part many people find surprising. The better things become between you, the stronger his urge to create distance may become afterward. If you have an amazing time together and then he suddenly becomes colder for a few days, it does not automatically mean he lost interest. It could mean he is overwhelmed by how much he enjoyed being around you. Imagine this situation. You spend hours talking one night. He opens up. You laugh together. The conversation feels natural and effortless. Everything feels comfortable and right. Then the next morning, he does not message first. When you contact him, his replies feel different. They are shorter, colder, almost like that beautiful conversation never happened. Your first thought might be, did I say something wrong? Did I misunderstand everything? Did he realize he does not like me? But that may not be what is happening. He may actually be replaying that conversation in his mind, thinking about how easy it was to talk with you, how much he enjoyed the connection, and how much he revealed about himself. And that realization can scare him. So he creates distance. He tries to protect himself. He tries to convince himself that it was not a big deal and that he should not become too attached. But the interesting thing is that he often comes back. Maybe after a day, maybe after a few days, but he returns because those feelings are still there. Watch the pattern carefully. A strong connection happens, then sudden distance appears, and then he comes back again. That repeated cycle can be a sign that he is struggling with what he feels. The more consistent that pattern is, the more likely it is that his feelings are genuine and intense, because if he truly did not care, there would not be a pattern at all. He would either stay completely distant or stay consistently involved. The back and forth is the internal struggle happening inside him. And here is something else you should notice within this pattern. Pay attention to how he returns after pulling away. Does he act like nothing happened? Does he make a joke about disappearing? Does he give some explanation about being busy? That is him trying to protect his pride while also wanting to reconnect with you. He wants to come back, but he does not want to admit the real reason he left in the first place. Signal number 2. His body language becomes confusing when he is around you. Notice how he behaves physically when you are together. He may constantly move around, play with his phone, or seem unable to fully relax. His body is caught between wanting to move closer to you and trying to protect himself emotionally. He might stand very close to you one moment and then suddenly create distance the next. He may touch your arm while laughing and then quickly step back again. But there is one specific thing that can reveal a lot. Pay attention to his hands. If he runs his hand through his hair or touches the back of his neck while talking to you, that can be a strong sign. It is often an unconscious reaction showing that he feels nervous and is experiencing emotions he is trying to control. Another important thing to notice is whether he positions his body toward you even when he is not directly looking at you. For example, his entire body may be facing you while he pretends to look at his phone or talk to someone else. That is his subconscious showing what his conscious mind is trying to hide. When a guy is struggling with feelings for you, his body often reveals the truth even when his words do not. This is what makes this sign so powerful. You can control your words and choose what you want to say, but body language is much harder to fake consistently. His body can reveal what he is truly feeling. Look for the small details. Does he lean closer when you are speaking even though he is trying to appear relaxed? Does he copy your movements without noticing? If you cross your arms, does he do the same a few seconds later? Or if you lean back, does he also lean back? Mirroring is one of the strongest signs of attraction because it happens naturally without people realizing it. When we feel connected to someone, our bodies often try to match theirs. So if he mirrors you while also pretending that he does not care, that is the emotional battle happening in front of you. His body wants to connect, but his mind is trying to resist. Also notice where his feet are pointing. It may sound unusual, but it can reveal a lot. People's feet often naturally point toward what they are interested in. So even if he is speaking with someone else or looking at his phone, notice where his feet are directed. If they are pointing toward you, that may show where his real attention is. Also pay attention to his eyes. Not only whether he makes eye contact, but what happens when he does. Does he hold your gaze slightly longer than normal and then quickly look away? Does he seem like he is forcing himself not to look at you? These can be signs that he is highly aware of you and trying hard to control his reactions. Signal number 3, and this is the one that seems completely opposite. He becomes more teasing the more he likes you. I am not talking about being truly disrespectful or cruel. I mean, he starts using more teasing, more sarcasm, and more playful comments. He jokes about you more than he does with other people. Here is why this happens. When someone feels emotions they do not want to admit, they often respond in the opposite way. It feels safer to tease you and keep things playful than to become vulnerable and openly show how much they care. So he may constantly joke with you, make playful comments about you, act like nothing you do impresses him, roll his eyes when you speak, or challenge your opinions. But here is the real sign. The sharper his comments become, the more likely it is that he is strongly trying to fight what he feels. Creating distance through humor feels much safer than allowing you to see that he actually cares. Now watch what happens when you become genuine with him first. When you share something personal, emotional, or meaningful, his entire attitude can change. The jokes slow down. The sarcasm disappears. For a moment, you see the softer side he has been hiding. That small change is the real him showing through. Everything else is just a protective layer. Many women see teasing and assume he only sees them as a friend or that he does not respect them. But if he teases you much more than he teases other women, it can actually show that you hold a different place in his mind. Here is how you can tell the difference between normal friendly teasing and this type of teasing. Watch his eyes and his smile when he jokes with you. Is there kindness behind it? Does he pay close attention to your reaction? Does he care whether you laugh or feel uncomfortable? If the answer is yes, it may not be teasing meant to push you away. It may be his way of getting your attention and building a connection in the only way that feels safe for him right now. Also notice if he ever crosses a line and immediately tries to fix it. Maybe he makes a joke that does not land well and you can see the concern appear on his face. That moment matters because it shows your feelings are important to him. He may try to act relaxed, but he does not actually want to hurt you. Another layer is that the teasing often increases when other guys are nearby. If he becomes more playful or sarcastic with you in group situations, it may be his way of getting your attention without making his feelings obvious. He may not openly flirt in front of everyone because that could reveal too much. So instead, he uses teasing as a reason to interact with you and focus on you. Signal number 4, he remembers everything about you. And I mean the small details too. That random story you shared weeks ago about something that happened at work, he brings it up unexpectedly. That food you once mentioned that you dislike, he remembers when you are ordering together. That goal you told him you were working toward, he asks how it is going. Here is what is really happening. When we are interested in someone, our brain naturally pays extra attention to everything they say. It happens automatically. He is not forcing himself to remember these little details. His mind stores them because you are important to him. When a guy is trying to fight his feelings for you, he may still notice everything about you because he cannot stop himself. And this next part is very specific. If he remembers small details about things you care about, things that most people would ignore or forget, that can show that you are often on his mind. He may bring up something you said weeks ago as if you mentioned it yesterday. He may mention inside jokes that barely even seem like jokes to anyone else. He will know your routine without you even having to explain it to him. That is not just because he is a great listener. It is because his mind is constantly focused on you, even while he is trying hard to act like he is not. Think about how uncommon this really is. Most people forget simple things you told them just a day ago, sometimes even moments after you say them. But this man is different. He is collecting small details about you without even realizing it. He remembers that you told him about your important meeting on Tuesday. He remembers that you dislike mushrooms. He remembers that your mother's birthday is coming soon. He even remembers the name of your childhood pet. These are not things you sat down and made important. They are small comments, random pieces of information that came up naturally during conversations, but he noticed them, he kept them in his memory, and later he brings them up when you least expect it. That is why this sign matters so much. You cannot pretend to have this kind of attention. You cannot force yourself to remember every little thing about someone unless that person truly matters to you. Your brain naturally removes information it believes is not important. So if his mind keeps holding on to everything you say, it means something about you has become important to him. Pay attention to this too. Does he remember details in a way other people do not? Most people remember the main idea of a story, but he remembers the tiny detail you casually mentioned in the middle of it. He remembers the little things you thought nobody noticed. That is a deeper level of attention. That is someone who is listening carefully, even while trying to appear relaxed and normal. Also notice whether he remembers things you love, and then takes action based on that information. For example, if you once mentioned that you enjoy a certain type of coffee and one day he surprises you with it, that says a lot. If you tell him you wanted to watch a particular movie and later he suggests watching it together, he is showing that he pays attention. He is not only hearing your words, he is using what you share to make you feel seen. Sometimes actions feel safer than words because words require opening up, and opening up can feel risky when someone is afraid of their own emotions. The next sign is that he behaves noticeably differently with you compared to everyone else. You have probably seen him around his friends. With them, he is comfortable, relaxed, playful, and completely himself. But when he is around you, there is a different kind of energy. Something feels slightly different. He becomes more aware of himself. He fixes his clothes more often. He checks how he looks. He thinks carefully before speaking. He may seem like he is choosing his words instead of just saying whatever comes to his mind. That is not simply nervousness. It is attraction that he is trying to control, but there is one reaction that reveals even more. Watch what happens when you mention another man, even casually. His entire mood may change. He might suddenly become quieter. He may make a joke about it. He might start asking questions that seem normal but actually reveal curiosity. If he tries to act like he does not care, but his expression, voice, or behavior changes the moment another guy comes into the conversation, that tells you something. That is hidden jealousy. When a man is trying to fight his feelings for you, he cannot completely hide how uncomfortable it feels to imagine you with someone else. Even if he acts like it means nothing, his emotions often reveal the truth before his words do. Here is what this usually looks like in real situations. You mention that you went out with your friends and he seems completely fine. He acts normal and does not react. But the second you mention that another guy was there or that you had a conversation with another man, something changes. Maybe he becomes quiet for a moment. Maybe he makes a small comment about that person. Maybe he asks more questions than the situation requires. He is trying to understand whether this other person is someone he should worry about. And the interesting part is that he technically has no reason to be jealous. You are not officially together. He has not confessed his feelings. He has not made a clear move. But emotions do not always follow logic. The idea of you choosing someone else can trigger feelings that he cannot easily control. That reaction shows that you matter more to him than he wants to admit. Also, watch how he behaves when other men are physically around you. Does he find ways to stand closer to you? Does he join conversations more often? Does he suddenly become funnier, more confident, or more impressive? This is competitive behavior. It is him feeling challenged and trying to show that he is the better choice without directly saying it. Now, this is where many women make mistakes. They notice these signs and then react in one of two extreme ways. They either push too hard for answers or they completely give up and walk away. Both reactions can create problems, but one of them can damage the connection much faster. When a man is fighting his feelings this strongly, forcing him to explain himself usually creates more resistance. If you ask him, "What are we?" or "Do you actually like me?" before he is ready, he may feel pressured. If you reveal all your feelings hoping he will immediately do the same, it can activate the very fear that is making him hold back. You cannot force someone to admit emotions before they are ready. You cannot argue someone into opening their heart. You cannot give endless attention and expect their walls to automatically disappear. But completely walking away and expecting him to suddenly understand everything is not always the answer either. He may convince himself that keeping distance was the right choice. He may tell himself that his feelings were not serious or that avoiding the situation protected him.